Well, in this unit we have been discussing evolution, and I think it's very important to point out all the controversy that has been surrounding this topic. For one, obviously we had the Scopes trial and how evolution has been implemented and taken out of the curriculum for decades. So it's really important to wrap up this unit and to talk about the controversy and the conflict management that should come with talking about evolution. So what comes to mind? I know we've been talking a lot about natural selection and sexual selection and variation, mutation, and so on and so forth. And what's one of the things that comes to mind when you think about evolution or what you've learned? So let's just go through some of the big ones. So humans evolved from apes. That's obviously one of the biggest ones that everyone thinks about in the very beginning. So that one's kind of an interesting one to think about. I've also heard evolution is just a theory, and it's not proven. Well, yes, it is true that it is just a theory, but at the same time, we got to think about what the definition of a theory actually is. And that a theory is just it's an idea that has been backed up by lots and lots of evidence and research studies that have been implemented and processed, and which shows that there is quite a big possibility that evolution is going on. Another big one is Earth is 4.6 billion years, but at the same time, there is some controversy and some conflict saying that there's evidence in other, especially religious biblical documents, that it is 6,000 to 12,000 years old. And once again, creationism, who made the first species? So that is always some really big conflicts that surround these four. There are many more, which we probably won't get to, but we want to focus on these right now. So discussion, we want to get into groups of four, and we want to discuss conflict management. So after learning about all the topics of evolution, we want to go into, what were your questions regarding your beliefs and, toward this major topic. So what we want to do is we want to get into groups, and we want to hear everybody's opinion first. We're not going to give any comments or anything like that, because it's important to talk to hear everyone else's opinion before everyone puts in their 2 cents. So also think about what was the hardest part while going through this unit. What was the hardest part that, something that you really had to wrestle with while we were talking about all of this? Make sure to bring that up also. And who did you talk to about this after class? Did you talk to your parents? Did you talk to your pastor? Or did you talk to really anybody, a friend, or even the person sitting next to you? Bring that up also, and make sure that you write down your answers, so that way if someone didn't quite understand what you were saying, that way you can go back, so the person could be like, oh, well, I said this and this. So make sure that you write that down. So we'll go ahead, and we'll take about 5 or 10 minutes to go ahead and get into groups and discuss this all together. So here's discussion part 2. So now that we have heard everyone else's opinions, and we have heard, from everyone in your group, and everyone has obviously expressed their religious beliefs, if they have any or they don't. So now that we know everyone else, so what is the best way to deal? Obviously, not everybody agrees with everybody in this way. So when talking about evolution, what's the best way to deal with conflict? Okay, so what are some good phrases to say when hearing about different viewpoints? I have a couple up here, which I believe will really help you in the future. Number one, by saying, I respect your opinions. It's not about putting in your 2 cents. It's about listening and about other people's viewpoints on what they have been brought up with. I feel you have great ideas, because it's true. Every one of us has wonderful ideas. Where they came from or how they believe in these ideas is not up for any of us to decide whether that is correct or right or wrong or anything like that. Those words are not allowed when it comes to evolution, the controversy. So tell me more about, tell me more, I care about what you think. The best way to understand where someone is coming from is to make sure that you really, really, really know where they are coming from. So actually, go out of your way and say, really, this is really interesting. Where did you hear that from? Or, why do you believe so strongly in that? I'm really, really curious. So what would you do if someone became upset when the topic of evolution came up? Well, I kind of have a few ideas when it comes to that. Number one, you just need to explain that this is not a religious classroom. This is a science classroom. There's no way, shape, or form are we even trying to compare the two. So we want to express that this is a classroom dedicated in introducing and teaching scientific findings, supporting evolutionary theory and keeping students up to date with the scientific community. And that's it, cut and dry. This is not about who's right, who's wrong, or who has more evidence to support what. This is about just clearly bringing the scientific community to you, into your minds, and having you decide what you want to believe in, because no one else is going to tell you differently. Just in the science classroom, we just want to make sure that we bring all this. So, all of this, the drum roll, can science and religion coexist? Well, the answer is yes, they can coexist. There is nothing wrong with between the two of them. Personally, I don't think that there is a problem here. I don't think there is a controversy because there's just two different opinions. That's it. There's nothing else that should come in the way. So this topic's not about who wins or who has the most evidence to support it.